Let's talk about Adderall, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the first time you take Adderall, some people it can be life-changing. Now I'm prescribed Adderall, 15 milligrams slow release by my doctor for ADHD medication. Do not take it recreationally. I'm not a doctor and I'm not telling you what to do, but yeah, let's leave it at that. My experiences with Adderall, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the first thing is, someone with ADHD, you tend to have overlapping thoughts that interrupt another thought with another thought, and then you're constantly jumbled around. You start a task, you don't finish it, which I kind of psychoanalyzed. The reason why we do that, we start something, is because your body is deficient in dopamine when you have ADHD, and so you get dopamine starting something new. But as the task becomes more difficult or whatever, you gain less dopamine and it requires more effort. So your mind just naturally goes to something else to extract dopamine from that. Another good example is like starting a show and then stopping it. Is You've all experienced this where you've binge watched a TV show and you're enjoying the whole show and you can't get enough, and then it ends, and then there's almost like this sadness or this sense of impending doom or slight feelings of depression or sadness, and that's because your dopamine was so spiked during that show and you enjoyed it and you were like involved in that world, and now it's over, and so you have the inverse of that increased spike of dopamine, the inverse being a decrease below your baseline amount. So you feel this deprivation of dopamine, that drive hormone that you have in your brain. And so people that have ADHD tend to start and stop shows because they enjoy the show, but then they also have an attention deficit. So they get the dopamine from the show, they get involved into it, but then either fear of that crash prevents them from finishing the show as new things start to pique their interests, whether it's a YouTube video, other things in life, or they're involved in something else that takes their mind away from that show. And so then they never really feel that crash. They just seek out a different stimulation elsewhere. Now what Adderall does for me personally is when I take it, after it kicks in, I feel something in my breathing, an interesting sensation, nothing bad, but an interesting sensation. My mouth gets really dry, so I get really bad cotton mouth, but then I feel awake, almost like constant chatter and stuff in your head just dies down and you're focused in the moment, which is very hard to do when you're constantly thinking about random things and always your interest is always pulled away to other things. It's also very detrimental with the current state of the world with cheap dopamine short bursts of videos. You have like a 6-second clip and you can get caught in a perpetual scrolling loop where you watch a video, 6 seconds, you can keep your attention for that long, go to the next video, go to the next video, go to the next video. Now me, I've been more inclined to do certain things like drinking energy drinks a lot, or enjoying alcohol here or there in spurts, but I've never really gotten addicted to anything. I'm not where like I can't just stop. I can't just like I even tested it. I did nicotine. I smoked a vape for a month straight and then stopped vaping just cold turkey because I bet someone that I could just do it. And I mean, they're not around me 24/7, so they can't definitively know that I don't, but I don't have any desire or need, and I grew up around smokers all my life. So anyways, Adderall. It's very big in campuses, it's very big in colleges. People use it to study, to focus, whatever. And it does just that, especially for someone who's constantly distracted, whether it's internally or externally. Mine is more of an internal distraction. I'm always in my head, in my thoughts, thinking about stuff, ruminating on things. Some people, they're distracted by every little thing they see. They hear a car, they see an animal, something always pulls their attention away from what they're doing, so they can never focus. And Adderall can alleviate most of those issues. Now, the more you take it though, it can erode your personality. I noticed for me, the more that I take it, I tend to become, short fused. I can blow up easier. Um, I am less emotionally inclined to feel anything. Like I just feel a perpetual numbness, an internal numbness that just can't really be described. It's not a depression, but I just don't really care about anything at all. I feel um, there's a word for it, but can't think of it right now. Where nothing really matters. There's no point, and um, you start to look at things in a lens of why everything. You just question everything. At least that's what it did for me. And the longer you take it, it tends to you tend to, so the ruminations and thoughts will go away, but it almost comes back in a different way through a physical expression, and a sense of impending doom internally, that I can't really explain unless you've felt it. But this impending doom, like you have to be doing something, and I kind of fulfill this void by doing dishes or cleaning. And so you get these like the Adderall cleaning fits where you just start cleaning everything because you feel as if you need to be accomplishing or doing something. You can't sit still in the sense of like you can't just be complacent. Like you can't play a video game, or at least I couldn't. And you can't, like, unless you're working directly towards a goal, something specific, you just feel this, like almost like you're trapped in your own body type of sensation that really can't be explained unless you've felt it for yourself. So it does the job. There's probably better things that you can do or take. That's just my personal experiences with Adderall. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'd say the good is it does what it's supposed to. It kind of narrows in my focus and allows me to do the things that I need to do on a daily basis without getting distracted. The bad sides, dry mouth, so cotton mouth. Another thing is you'll be going to the bathroom a lot. I tend to be pissing all day long. My dry mouth will not go away the entirety of until I go to sleep and then wake up the next day, or when the drug wears off. You can sometimes it is difficult to formulate sentences because your brain is putting the words together faster than your mouth can say them, when you have ADHD. So your brain is thinking of things and then they're overlapping thoughts all the time. And you go to say something and then you've lost your train of thought. That happens to me a lot. Adderall kind of alleviates that and allows me to formulate sentences almost perfectly without any interruptions or issues internally, like with my thoughts or whatever. Yeah, the bad sides are cottonmouth, and that sense of impending doom can be quite distraught at times, and it comes in waves. It's not very. It's kind of random, and you can alleviate it by just doing activities. Although you're putting your body in a hyper state, like a hyperactive state, like your adrenaline. It increases dopamine and norepinephrine, also known as adrenaline, in the brain and body, and that puts you in a heightened state of awareness, and that can be good for immediate focus, but it can also be bad if you're trying to get to sleep and stuff like that. Me personally, sleeping wasn't really that big of an issue. It wasn't that hard. So that's just my experiences with Adderall. And if you can relate, or if you have questions, comments, concerns, I'm not a doctor, but I'd like to share any information that I have personally with you and my experiences. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and have a good one. See ya.